This is the New American Media.
Broadcasting to you live from the Milky Way galaxy, the solar system, planet Earth, North America, the United States of America, California, Los Angeles to be specific. Hello everybody, welcome to the Unhappy Hour. I'm your host Brian Engelman here on the TNAM radio network here at thenewamericanmedia.com. We're going to bring in special guest NBA scout Zak Baris. Zak is going to tell us what the heck is wrong with the Cleveland Cavaliers. Because, man, they are not playing great basketball right now. I got to tell you, start off the season pretty promising. Andrew Bynum was back, feeling kind of healthy and good. And, ooh, tell you what, just ain't really clicking on all cylinders just yet. And I'm already hearing grumblings about firing Coach Mike Brown. So we'll get him in just a second. Special thanks to my uncle, Bruce Engelman, author of the book Eternal Flame. You can check it out on Amazon.com. About the JFK assassination. We talked with him. We'll post that afterward from our Agree to Disagree radio show about the assassination of President John F. Kennedy. Check that out on our homepage, thenewamericanmedia.com. Check it out on Twitter. We'll send it out there by following at American_media_. Search on Facebook, The New American Media, with spaces in between, and like our page. And subscribe to our YouTube channel, youtube.com/The New American Media. So we're going to talk some sports. We're going to talk some sports with Zak, and we're going to do it now because I got to know what's going on. And if you're an NBA fan, Zak is the one you need to talk to on a weekly basis. That's why I keep bringing him back.
Hello?
Zak, you're live on the air, sir. How you doing today?
I'm good. How about yourself?
You know, I'm living the dream. I think I'm doing better than the Cavaliers are doing. That's why we're bringing you in. Is it time to panic, good sir?
I think it is time to hit the panic button.
Ooh, after 2 weeks? Really? Tell me why. Talk me down off the ledge, but you're just saying jump, buddy. Jump.
Everything about this team is a mess. They cannot win on the road. Their offensive sets are atrocious. I mean, and that's putting it nicely. Anthony Bennett has been god-awful. You know, like I still said, I still think the best fit for the Cavaliers in this draft would have been Victor Oladipo. I'm still sticking with that. You know, was I wrong so far in Anthony Bennett? Yes. That doesn't mean he's going to be a career bust. I mean, I think he needs to be sent to the D-League in order to work out his king.
Oh, man.
You know, the Cavaliers can't afford to have him in the lineup.
Really? The D-League? You can't even play the number one pick, you're saying? Oh.
Not right now. I mean, he's definitely... Put it this way, he's hurting the team. He's not helping you getting wins. His shot selection is just terrible. You know, he takes a lot of, and he's reminding me of a poor man's Josh Smith, and that's putting it nicely. And I mean it in the way of Josh Smith's shot selection, not Josh Smith as a player. But Josh Smith sometimes has always had an awful shot selection, which has cost him from being a top-tier NBA player. Then it looks like a really, really poor man's Josh Smith, and that's not what you want your number one pick's potential to be at.
Oh, man. Well, I'm having a hard time digesting what you just said, that he might have to go to the D-League.
I mean, it might not. It could be temporarily. You know, for 2 weeks, let him work out. You know, get him into shape. You know, get him a taste of what it's like down there. Get him his confidence back, and help work on his shot selection because he's not running the pick and roll. The Cavaliers' offense looks like it's playing. You know, it looks like a fourth grade offense from what I've seen. You know, which meaning is that the good player gets the ball at the top of the key and just drives it to the hoop. No screen, nothing. You know, they're not running any isolation plays. It's just, I mean, I've watched them this year, not a ton, but, you know, from when I have watched them, they just look terrible. It's either Waiters or Kyrie Irving every time driving to the hoop. The only really true bright spot on this team so far has been C.J. Miles off the bench. You know, Verjao looks good. Bynum looked good in limited time. I think you need to start getting him more minutes once he's back fully. You know, I think he'll be back tomorrow night. And, you know, that's when the Cavaliers, but, I mean, I think it is time to hit the panic button right now. I know, what are they, 3-6?
Yeah.
You know, I mean, but, you know, especially against the Bulls the other night, I have to say, they're off. You know, if you think the Bulls have some bad offensive sets, go and look at a team like the Cavaliers. The Cavaliers made the Bulls look like the best offensive team in the NBA.
Well, isn't that the calling card of Mike Brown? I'm already hearing, is it too late to dump Mike Brown? The Lakers did it after 5 games. I mean, is Mike Brown a horrible offensive coach? That was the knock on him during the LeBron days.
I mean, don't forget, the Cavaliers under Byron Scott were not any better offensively. They think they were 27th or 28th in offense. I mean, it just seemed like they were better. They were not any better. I'm letting you know that right now. You can go look up the numbers last year. I think they were 27th or 28th in offensive efficiency.
Anthony Bennett scored just about as many points for Byron Scott as he has for Mike Brown.
No, I'm not telling you to go and rehire Byron Scott. I mean, Byron Scott was a terrible coach.
No, I'm saying Bennett hasn't scored any points for Mike Brown. Anyway, no, I'm just kidding.
No. And I think the Cavaliers have a big mess on their hands because right now you're sitting in a team that should at least, with their talent level, win at least a minimum of 44 or 46 games. Minimum. And you're looking at it now going, okay, is this team a high lottery team? Are they going to be picking in the top 5? Are they going to get, Andrew Wiggins, Aaron Gordon, Julius Randle, or Jabari Parker? Are they going to wind up with one of those 4 guys? Or, it is highly possible at this point with the way they've played.
Oh,
it's not like they've been going against many of the NBA elite teams. They look bad. They lost to the Bobcats on the road. They lost to Milwaukee. They cannot win on the road. And they're not that good of a home team where they're going to pull off 30 wins this year at home.
Hey, let me ask you about Jabari Parker real quick. One of our regulars, UFC is MMA, on our YouTube page, he listens to every one of these, and he's just saying he's seeing the Utah Jazz finding a way to get Jabari Parker, even if they end up with one of the top picks. Any chance you see that? Him being Mormon and all?
Utah Jazz?
Yeah.
I think Parker's a good fit on there, but I think it all depends on what they do with Gordon Hayward. I know Gordon Hayward will now be a restricted free agent. But Parker could be a nice fit there, too. I mean, so could Dante Exum, from Australia, the point guard there. There's some nice fits. But I think Trey Burke, I think Utah, I don't really think they're that bad of a team. They have a lot of talent. Right now they don't have a point guard, and that's their problem. That's why they're playing such poor basketball. I think once Trey Burke is healthy, I think Utah will play a lot better. They have some nice young talent. I do like Derek Favors, Ennis Cantor, Gordon Hayward. I really do like their talent. I think they're young. A lot of these guys haven't gotten true minutes. And, we'll see what happens, but I want to see, what Utah will be like when they get Trey Burke back. But the Cavaliers are the biggest enigma at this point to me in the NBA. I think they're the most surprisingly bad team in the NBA because Kyrie Irving looks like, not only has he taken 1 step back, it looks like he's taken 2 to 3 steps back.
All right, let me get to Kyrie Irving.
That would worry me a lot.
Well, I'm hearing the rumblings here as well about Kyrie wanting to get out of here, about him being a prima donna. I'm starting to hear the rumblings. I'm not saying it's true. I'm just asking you, my man on the street, my NBA insider, Kyrie's troubles, are they mental? Is he already thinking about next year? Is he already... What's going on, man? Because I'm starting to get concerned about him.
I think he's probably just frustrated with the offensive sets, and I think he's trying to do too much. I mean, he looks kind of lackadaisical at the end of games, which is worrying me, which would worry me as a Cleveland fan. And, I think that's his problem. I just remember the Timberwolves game, and he's sitting there. I mean, I think he turned over the ball 6 or 7 times in the fourth quarter, and they blew a 23-point lead, and they won by 1.
Sure.
That's not what you want your star point guard doing. It just isn't, it's unfathomable to think how bad he was in that game in the fourth quarter. I think he had a total of 9 or 10 turnovers in that game. And I think at least six of them came in the fourth quarter. Ricky Rubio just destroyed him. I mean, thank God Ricky Rubio can't shoot, or Minnesota would have blown away Cleveland in the fourth quarter. I didn't think it was possible to blow a 23-point lead going into the fourth quarter, but they managed to, and they barely won.
So the main problems here then. I mean, Tristan has been pretty solid. He's been doing pretty good. What about Andy? What other pieces are, like you said, CJ Miles? I mean, that's the bright spot on this team.
They've got absolutely zero production. They've got negative production out of the small forward position this year with Earl Clark.
Wow.
None. I think you have to move CJ Miles into the starting lineup and move Earl Clark and have him play more at the 4 because he's not transitioning well to playing the 3.
And so if that's not going well, is that a failure from the coaches from the team to understand where he fits in?
It's a failure from all around. It's a failure from the front office down to the coaching staff. They can't place him in the right position. That's the problem when you have tweeners in the NBA. Very few tweeners are stars, and that was always the one thing that worried me about Anthony Bennett. It's the Derek Williams thing that worried me. That worried me a few years ago. Derek, I worked with Derek in college for a few years. I went to Arizona, and I had the opportunity to work with Derek for a year. And I saw his potential as a freshman and where he jumped as a sophomore. I wasn't working with the team when Arizona made the Elite Eight. I was already I was already in California at that point, but I still had the opportunity to watch, Derek play a lot that season. And just the jump he made to me, I thought, I said, if he gets in the right fit in the NBA, the guy's going to be a great player. He happened to be in the worst position possible getting drafted by Minnesota because they already had Kevin Love, who was a tweener. But Kevin Love has turned out to be a true 4. And Derek Williams is not a true 3, and when you're backing up Kevin Love and you're not getting serious minutes, it's a problem. And Derek, I think, that's stunted his growth really badly. And the same thing worries me about Anthony Bennett, because if I'm the Cavaliers right now, I'm not trading Tristan Thompson to go and see what Bennett has. I think you have a true 4 in Tristan Thompson with a lot of potential, and I wouldn't risk trading him to see what Anthony Bennett's growth point is. I just wouldn't. So that leaves you with the thing is, Bennett's value right now is maybe a penny on the dollar for what it would have been. Granted, it couldn't have been that high, and that's why I would have taken Oladipo to have that lethal backcourt this year, in the future. And I think right now the Cavaliers are doing everything they can right now to cost themselves a chance at LeBron James. Everything they can. But at the same time, if they wind up with a top 5 pick and they wind up with Parker or Randall, or they wind up with, Andrew Wiggins, they might be okay in the long run. But, if they want to be contenders in the next year, they need to win now. I'm telling you, they're going to make a trade very soon. I can tell you that. You're not seeing the rumblings yet, but Chris Grant, I don't know if he's ready to hit the panic button just yet, but I can tell you a trade is coming up in the near future if they don't turn this thing around in the next 3 weeks.
Why do you feel that?
Because
wait, hold on, Zach. Hold on. You're like the animals before an earthquake. Like they know something's coming, so they start running to the hills. So you're feeling it too. So tell me why you're getting this sixth sense, if you will.
Well, I don't even know if it's a sixth sense. I would just put it contacts in NBA front offices and different front offices. I'm not going to say where I have my contacts, but basically from my friends I've talked to, and former colleagues, just everything. I know the Cavaliers are, I don't know how far away they are from hitting the panic button. It's going to be hit, though, in the next 3 weeks if they don't turn this thing around. Something's going to happen. I just don't know what it is. And whether you make a move to trade Dion Waiters, I don't know what the deal is, but the Cavaliers need to acquire legitimate NBA talent for what they have, and, they might have to trade some young assets away because they need to win now. If you want a shot at LeBron James next year, you need to win now. And I thought at the beginning of the season, count me as being the one who was wrong. I had high hopes for them, and I think a lot of people did around the NBA. I don't think any predicted them at a 30-win team, except for maybe 1 or 2 people. And, I'm honestly shocked at the results of how bad they've been. I'm almost speechless sometimes watching a team. I mean, if you look at my Twitter some nights, I don't tweet about them every night, but, when I do, you can tell I'm not giving them, I'm not praising any of their games. Even their home games have all been within 5 points, I believe. They haven't had a blowout win. In all their losses, they seem to blow, and they're never, they're always right there in the game, and then they blow it. They couldn't catch the lead in Philadelphia, that went in the, that they lost that one. They blew that one. Milwaukee, they get within a few points, and they just can't seem to take over. And every game they do have at home, they've blown double-digit leads in all 3 home wins. I know against Philadelphia they had a big lead. They blew that one. The Minnesota game, and against Brooklyn they had a sizable, I think, 10 or 11-point lead at one point. Going in the middle of the fourth quarter of that game, and they blew that and almost lost that game. I think something needs to change. I don't know what it is. I'm not going to say go and fire Mike Brown, a week and a half into the season. Because I don't think you're going to get better results from anyone else on the staff unless you let Bernie Bickerstaff coach the team. You have a lot of money invested in time, and it worries me too. At one point going, who does the Cavaliers front office side with? If Kyrie Irving demands Mike Brown be fired, who does the front office side with? Do they go and trade their superstar player and keep their coach? Or do they do what they did the opposite of last? Do they do the opposite of what they did last time? Attempting to keep LeBron James and firing Brown and losing LeBron anyways. There are a lot of questions to be answered here, and I don't have the answer to them. The Cavaliers front office over the last 3 years has been incredibly unpredictable, other than the Kyrie Irving pick. They've been so unpredictable. They've been predictable just on that line.
Wow, that's interesting. You say it that way. Dion Waiters was a surprising pick. I remember that one.
I remember going on the day before the draft, a year ago, saying there's no way they're going to take Dion Waiters. It's a smokescreen. I even said there's no way they're going to take Waiters. If they do, then fine. I said there was no way they were going to pass on some of those guys that they passed on, and they did. And it's come back to bite them in the ass. I thought Andre Drummond at 4 was a little high. I thought it was too risky to take a pick. But if you're going to go with Dion Waiters, you might as well have just taken Andre Drummond, because I thought Detroit got the best value in the draft with Drummond.
Yeah, you were high on him from the beginning, I remember.
Drummond, I worried. I said, he wasn't worth the top 3 he wasn't worth the top 3 pick, because there was such good talent in the top 3, and so you couldn't risk it there, because he was either a home run or just a total strikeout. You didn't know what you were getting out of him. He was nothing guaranteed. And now that you've seen that Drummond has the opportunity to be a star player in this league, he's definitely in a good situation in Detroit.
I'm kind of speechless here. After the first game or two, it was like, wow, the Cavs kind of looking good. I was really excited, as the season was beginning, and now just, I don't know. Is this something they can turn around, or you're just convinced it's going to have to be trades? They're going to have to blow up the team. So something's going to happen because they're not going to win with the current structure in place unless Bynum starts averaging 30 minutes a night. They're not going to be. They're not going to be putting up huge numbers. Well, then talk to me about Bynum then real quick. With his knees, we've been hearing him contemplating retirement. He had a air quote family emergency. Now maybe he did. I'm not saying he didn't, but my initial thought was, is he talking retirement over with his family? Is he having like a little mental breakdown because his body's breaking down? Are we pretty much seeing the end of Andrew Bynum, or are we going to see 30 minutes a game? What do you see happening with Bynum?
I really don't have the answer. I don't know. I haven't really spoke to any of my contacts in the Cavs front office, in more than a week. And I didn't ask. I don't want to be too touchy, with the Andrew Bynum situation, because it's not my place to go and say their public information. So I haven't even asked, but if I really need to find out, I could. It's just a matter of I think that Bynum, I think he's getting in better shape. His knees still hurt, which is a problem. It's not like you can just go out and wear the braces and patella bands every night. It's tough. Coming from someone who has a ruptured patella tendon in his left knee, and I'm not even an athlete, it hurts for me to walk down a flight of steps. Yeah. I managed to go hard on it anyways, but still, there's times when my knee feels like jello. I could only imagine with being 7 feet tall and 350 pounds. Yeah. What his knees feel like.
And banging around.
The pain is so immense. It's so much more intense than what my pain is, because mine was off of a stupid skiing injury, so.
Yeah, and he's got to bang around with the big boys every game too, Yeah. So, all right, let me do this then. Well, I really don't want to talk too much more about the Cavs at this particular moment, because you know what? I don't think I have it in me. I really don't think I have it in me until maybe there's a sign of life out of these guys. Let me do this. While I still have you, let me hit reset real quick. Let me just get a quick hit from the Browns and Buckeyes with you, and we'll let you get going to enjoy your weekend. We're talking with NBA scout Zak Baris. Follow him on Twitter. Be sure that you do that for some really good insight. Put him in your sports list. Follow him. He's at Z Baris. That's ZBARIS. This is Brian Engelman here on the Unhappy Hour on the TNAM Radio Network.
You are listening to the New American Media.